the last thing here from Now Spinning Magazine with another video review, and this is again looking at the band Slade, and I'm getting in the mood for Christmas now, because I believe that Noddy Holder is about to say it's okay to mention Christmas, and I'm going to look at the Christmas Cracker album, Slade's Christmas Cracker album, and also the new version, or new 12-inch version of Merry Christmas Everybody. Where shall I start? I'm going to start with the Christmas Crackers album because, dear viewers and listeners and readers, when I saw this appear in 1986, I thought, oh dear, not one of Slade's best moves. In fact, almost quite recently, when I saw this somewhere, I said not one of the best things they could have done. I think even Classic Rock magazine said it was like the nadir of Slade, and what were they thinking of? I think I lost my sense of humour, sense of fun, or sense of wonder perhaps. The mid-80s, where was I? I was a Slade fan. I liked Rogue's Gallery just come out, hadn't it? And I'd obviously, as I've said on another video, I rejoined the Slade kind of train after Reading. But by the mid-80s, yeah, I was heavily immersed in American rock. The Dockens, the Rat, Bon Jovi's, and also I was into, starting to listen to Metallica and all that kind of stuff. So I think I was quite serious. I think music had become quite serious to me, even though you could look at some of the covers of some of those glam metal bands, or hair metal bands as they were fortunately called later on, and think, were they serious? But I was pretty serious. So to see this appear from my childhood heroes, what was I thinking? But I'd lost that sense of wonder, because when you look back at those early Slade albums, which I've recently been buying on the splatter vinyl stuff, is Slade were a party band. They were a band of the people. They were like from the terraces. They would just create a party wherever you went to. When I was going to see them at the Christmas gigs at the Birmingham Odeon after the revival at Reading, it was just a party. It was fun. It was absolute fun. And I say in my videos, do I not, that music is the healer and the doctor. So is laughter. So is fun. Is part of being mentally and physically healthy, and Slade are all of that. What I didn't realise, of course, until I heard this, is just what a full-on raucous rock album it is. Because I'd looked at the track listing, and of course this is different. This has been out several times, and the first time it came out, Merry Christmas Everybody wasn't on it. It's on this. It's the first track, side 1, which I think on some versions it does appear, but it's not in that position. But it's the first opening track, and so it should be. And then you've got Let's Dance, and this is one of the things when I looked at the track listing all those years ago, when I was a younger man, and thought, oh God. But it's Dave Hill's guitar sound, absolutely bone crunching rock, really is. And Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I've always liked the Bruce Springsteen version, but this one's plugged in. Nothing against Bruce's version, because obviously I really like it, but this one is fantastic. Hi Ho Silver Lining. Again, I remember looking at the original track list thinking, oh God, but it's brilliant. It's obviously that they put together the imagery from the lyrics of Merry Christmas Everybody, which will take many of us back to those living rooms of the 70s, with our grannies and grandmas and mother-in-laws and everything having too many sherries. But this they put together a track listing that is like the perfect Christmas night in with family you haven't seen for a while, and everyone's had just that bit too much drink or too much Christmas pud. So Hi Ho Silver Lining fits in perfectly, and it's a stonking version. It really is. The next one is one of their own, which is We'll Bring the House Down, and it just fits in here like a glove. Come On Feel the Noise, and it says it's the Crackers version because it was re-recorded in 1986 specifically for this album, and it's like it's the heavy metal version. I mean, Noddy is in such fine voice on this record, but it really is heavy, metallic, and absolutely fantastic. And whether it was done to try and push Quiet Riot's version somewhere else, but it just knocks that out of the ballpark. It really does. All Join Hands is good. And then the song that probably made Classic Rock magazine years later say don't go there, avoid, is the Okie Kokie. But it's a heavy metal version of Okie Kokie. Heavy metal, okay, that phrase can make some people think, do you mean it's like Metallica? No, it's like hard rock then. It's like heavy metal is a different dish depending on which bands you go to. But to me, it's raucous rock and roll. It's a rock and roll version of Okie Kokie, played only how Slade could do it. Do You Believe in Miracles was not supposed to be on there, I believe. I think it was supposed to be. It was a single on its own, and I think it would have sold a lot better if it hadn't been stuck on this album, because I think people that bought the album didn't buy that single. But Telstar, which is who put this out, wanted it on there. It's a great song. It's a typical Slade ballad. Beautiful song. Let's Have a Party is as you'd expect. And then we have a version of Get Down and Get With It, which absolutely blows the house down. Played this morning. Played it at something like 8 o'clock in the morning. While me and Sue were sorting out the cats and stuff, and it just felt absolutely joyous, really rocking, absolutely. And the whole band, it makes you realise at this point in time, to my loss really, did I realise that Slade had produced an album that was just make you grin from ear to ear. Really, really, absolutely. And then My Oh My is after that. You know, Just Need to Wave Your Scarves Around in the Air when that's on. Run, Run Away, great song. Here's to the New Year. And then the one that kind of is interesting is Do They Know It's Christmas, Feed the World, which of course is a Christmas song now. And it's probably the most subdued song on here. It's still Slade, but they didn't sound as if they quite knew how to Sladify it too much without taking away the original message, and it fits in well. And then Auld Lang Syne and You'll Never Walk Alone is, as you'd expect, Slade do that perfectly well, because so many of Slade's songs was about waving a scarf above your head towards the end of the song and being with friends, looking at each other, realising these were moments that you would treasure forever. And Slade have that ability to make you feel nostalgic, to feel you want to tell someone that you love them, to feel connected to family, connected to friends, to good times, not so good times, and good times yet to come. And Slade do that. And the little picture at the bottom you probably can't see, but Noddy had a fine head of hair at this point. There's also a great story, and it is that when they were recording Crackers, Dave Hill discovered a guy called Victor Herman, a busker, who was playing bagpipes in Oxford Street in London. And as the band were due to record their own version of Auld Lang Syne, Dave Hill invited Herman to add an authentic touch to the recording. Herman agreed, and when he'd finished recording his part, Slade gave an envelope with a sizable sum of money in it, along with thanks and best wishes. 2 days later, the envelope was returned by post along with a letter from Herman saying he'd enjoyed himself so much in the studio that he didn't want the money. Slade later invited him to their Christmas party on the 18th of November, the release day of the album, and at the party Slade presented Herman with one of the band's gold discs as a keepsake. That's another great little story then, isn't it, about the Slade, absolutely fantastic, who are not just for Christmas, I might add. And finally, and this is going to be only for interestful hardcore Slade fans, I imagine, because you've already got how many versions of this, and that is the Merry Christmas Everybody new 12-inch single on, what's it on? It's on a Snowflake marble vinyl, so it says. and it's Merry Christmas everybody, let's dance, Okie Kokie, All Lang Syne. So all the tracks are already on this, but there you go. And yes, these are vinyl albums, but because I've gone along with the set, the other BMG releases, I just felt that I had to get there. And of course, as I record this, it's almost time to get the tinsel up and get the mince pies out or in the oven. So thank you to all my patrons and supporters, especially Yogi, Clive, Chris and Andy. And thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting Now Spinning Magazine. And remember, music is the healer, it is the doctor. It is also fun and joyous and keeping that sense of wonder. So thank you again, and I shall see you on my next video.